Recording in progress.
I'll mute that. Welcome, everyone. Let's see here. This meeting of the Centennial School Board is called to order at 6:31 p.m. on November 8th, 2023, and a quorum is present. I think we've got a full house. This is fantastic to see. Welcome, everyone. I'm really excited about this evening. We've got the high school here in front of us. It definitely looks a little bit different than normal. I started on the board in the middle of the pandemic, so I did most of the board meetings from my bed. This is the first time we've had an audience, and I'm just so excited to have you all here and hear from you today. So thank you for making time. I know it's been a long day. I know the high school starts very early, and I just appreciate you hanging in. After your presentation, you are free to go. You're also welcome to you're welcome to stay and see everything else that goes on here. We'd love to have you. But if you get bored or tired, please feel free to show yourself out. At this point, the meeting agenda has been distributed in board book. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and call for a motion.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The agenda will run as stated. At this point, we will go to the approval of minutes. Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes from the previous meeting?
Move to
Hearing
approve
none.
the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. At this point, was there anything that came through the emails, the interwebs? No. Again, encourage you to check out our website. If you're watching out there, please drop us a note if you'd love to. We'd love to hear from you if you have anything to say for public forum. Next up, we have our reports, and so I'm really excited to welcome our two student representatives, Marisol and Lashmi. Did I say those both correctly? Fantastic. Welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you guys.
Hello. Hello. Okay. We're happy to be here. It's happy to finally meet you guys. We prepared a slideshow presentation, and we're beginning with our I'll just wait till the slideshow presentation comes up.
Do you want a little tech support? Yeah. While we're waiting, Marisol, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what grade you're in and?
Oh, yes. My name is Marisol Geronimo. I am a senior, and I'm like the school's ASB president. It's been pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Is it okay if I just speak? Yeah, go for it. And then if you're able to pop it in, yeah, go for it.
Please come in. Come on in. There's seats in here. There's a couple of seats right in the front. We thank you for coming. We're just getting ready for our report from the students.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
Oh,
don't know if this is, hello? Is this working? Yeah.
Okay,
Is
mine's
it-
pretty
Okay. So we'll be starting with homecoming. Homecoming went pretty successful. Our homecoming dance, our attendance was about 200 to 300 students. Tailgate vendors were very successful. Almost all vendors sold out. And parade participation was high as well. There was lots of families watching outside their homes, so it was fun. And then we're just reading because I wasn't able to get it up there. And do you want to do this one?
Some things that we've recently been doing is that we started actually already ended it, but we started selling our Spirit shirts during the homecoming week, which were only $1, which had a really good outcome. Like a lot of students were buying them, and then like they were wearing them to the homecoming game, which was honestly a way to show like our connection as a community. I think it was like pretty cool. We're like receiving continuous positive feedbacks from our assemblies, so like that makes us really happy that we're improving. And we have started a canned food drive this week, and it's going pretty well so far.
And then we have some things to look forward to, which is we created a Spirit Squad, which is a group of student bodies at our school. They will be going to games and cheering on our sports teams, our band, choir, and whatnot. And then we also have an event coming up, which is Elmer on the Beat, and it's like air guitar. If you guys ever heard of that, it's a class dance competition. So we're hoping for high participation, but it's a bit low right now. But we still have a couple months until then. And then we also want to try doing a newscast, which is we have a little group put together to do like a little podcast of like what will be going on throughout the week, throughout the month, whatnot. And hopefully we can get a video played. Either that might be first period, like for 5 minutes or whatnot. And then, yeah. And then instead of winter formal, we're having a spring formal this year. And that will take place during March. And then for prom, we have set the venue at World Forestry Center, and that will take place during June.
We talked as a class, and since they knew we were coming, we like brainstormed some things that we could use your support from. Our homecoming is a district-wide event. Like everybody comes through and like enjoys it. The elementaries, the middle schools, people around the neighborhoods, they come join us. We fund this whole event from our ASB accounts. Our tailgate was about $4,000 for porta potties, the light generators. Our parade wasn't as expensive, but we also like had to like get all the decorations for the boats and such, and that was like about $1,000. The fireworks show is $4,000, and that's like an event that we invite our whole community to. It's not like just for the high school. So the whole event ended up being like $10,000, and it's all coming from our ASB account. And if we had that money for like the whole school year, we really feel like we could do more with it. But homecoming takes like a large chunk of our money, and we really want to see if we could get support and get like funded for like next year's homecoming, considering it's like a whole district event, not just for the high school. Also, like some things that we have having trouble with in the past and like still currently is our technology. Our reader board, it's broken, and we've been trying to get a new one. It still hasn't happened. Our sound system keeps like breaking down on us during assemblies, and like our press box, like during the games and such, like while we did crowning for court and such, you couldn't hear it. Like nobody found out who won, and that's kind of a problem. Also, like when dance team went on to dance, like you couldn't hear the music, so they didn't really realize when they started dancing. But like those are some of the things that we like would really like help like funding and improving to improve our school as a whole. Another thing, which is kind of a smaller thing, and it's all right, is kind of like senior parking. We've talked about this many times. A lot of schools, seniors who like pay for the parking are allowed to paint it and personalize it themselves. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but like I just want to know like why we can't do that. Also, senior all night, that's always really hard to fundraise for, and like we want to know if we could get your guys' support on like why we can't like use our ASB accounts and stuff. Also, like fundraising is like very limited to us. Like we can't fundraise more foods, so like when food isn't involved, it makes it more difficult to like fundraise. So like fundraising is very limited, and we also don't get funded, so it's like very difficult for us. So that's are some things that we like would are like asking for your support as a class. So yeah. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's it of our presentation. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really
Yes.
appreciate the time that you guys have put into that and the intention that you've put in talking with your classmates and really coming with some ideas. I think that a lot of this honestly isn't stuff that I know about, and so it's definitely stuff that I'll definitely ask questions about, and I think that there's some different ways that we can support as well. I know that working for a nonprofit that works for kids in my day job, I often write to places and get food donated for our events and stuff. And so there's I would love to sit down with you guys and problem solve some ways that we can try to make some of these things happen also without costing more money, and looking into what's available. So I really appreciate your guys' time. Thank you.
We would love that.
Please.
A list of what you're currently doing for fundraising versus maybe some ideas to like, just give us a jumping off point that we can help you with. That would probably be a lot of help for us, and then we can kind of delve into that and help you guys out.
Yes, of course. What do you want to know now?
So if we try to fundraise food, there's like a certain nutrition limit, which
Oh, that's right.
it stops us from selling a lot of food. So we usually opt. So when we have dances, that's how we earn most of our money is by charging more. But the more we charge, the more students wouldn't want to pay for it. So that is also a problem. But the tickets are really our only way of fundraising because the food limit is so low.
Yep.
So it makes it really hard for us to do anything else.
We also have like the booster club that helps us with concessions, but they also like clubs and sports also rely on them. So that makes it like kind of hard for us to also
Yep.
get like fundraising opportunities with them. And like if we raise the price of our tickets, that like lowers our attendance and limits the amount of kids that can come to our events, and we don't want that.
Yeah. Thank you.
In addition to the chair's offer, I would say also, whatever you just said, if you could provide that list to Principal Miller, I meet with him on a regular basis, and we can troubleshoot and problem solve what kind of things that we can support from a district level, and what kind of things that he can help problem solve within the school as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, would you like to do the introduction for this one?
Happy to.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, please.
Like Chair Solowski said, it's great to have so many people here in the boardroom. It feels like it's been a long time since we've had folks in the gallery, so appreciate everybody's attendance tonight. And it's the first in a long time that we have had a school report. The board gets to hear a lot from me about how things are going in schools, but it's really great when they can hear from people in the schools as far as how things are going. And so the first presentation we will have in the last 3 or 4 years will be from Centennial High School. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Principal Miller, who will introduce the folks that he's brought along with him today. And we're excited to see this evening's report. So thank you for being here and for Mr. Miller leading the charge.
Well, awesome. We're very excited to present to you today as the proud principal of Centennial High School. I mean, it is just fitting that we're starting off presenting, being the first school, because we're also the flagship. And we are what our students become going out from us and into the community. And so that's why I'm going to actually try to minimize what I am saying today, because I want you to hear from our students directly. But I also want to sort of preface a little bit of the conversation of some of the stuff that we're working on this year. I'm hoping to present a little bit more about our goals, particularly around our school improvement plan and our mission. You're going to hear me talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to be actually celebrating some of the different moves that we have made for strategic moves, especially trying to center student voice. And then I'll talk a little bit about the metrics we're using to see how this is actually turning out, especially when it comes out to our school improvement process. Okay, for those that have been around, we have kept the same mission since 2013. And the reason we have, when we revisit it every few years, is because this is really what we want. And we always, we'll have students weigh in on this, staff weighs in on this, community weighs in this. But we want students to be able to demonstrate high academic standards, remember that word, with equitable support, equity and supportive school culture, and graduate college and career ready. That has been our mission, and that we're keeping working on. And that ties into Roadmap 27. That ties into the portrait of the graduate that many of you, sit on different committees, especially around, you see the first thing of portrait of a graduate. What we said is we want our students to be academically and socially literate. We want them to know their community, be self-efficacy. We want them to be future ready. And so our mission ties directly into Roadmap 27. And then off that, this year, we really are focusing on 3 goals. The 3 goals is first, student empowerment, especially student voice. Number 2, academics. And the third one is social, emotional, and feeling safe at school. And I'm going to talk about each of those sections. So let's start with student voice. Particularly when it comes down to student voice, some of the stuff that we have been doing this year includes really working on growing our school spirit, especially after COVID, it took a hit. And so growing our school spirit, growing our student leadership and our student government. We've also started different committees to empower students, such as the Principal Advisory Committee, and I'll talk about that. And then finally, in this sort of section, we'll talk a little bit more about really hearing our students and what that means and how that directly ties into the programs and what we're doing at the school. But first, we're going to talk about, empowering the growth of our school spirit and our leadership and our government. You just heard from 2 of our representatives. I'm going to turn it over to you. What is your goal with student government this year?
Definitely more student involvement. We've already taken steps to go towards that. With our new activities director, he's definitely supported us to enforce this a lot. He had the idea of the spirit shirts, was that's a way we could actually see the change in culture slowly happening. You saw everybody wear we've given now free yearly shirts, senior shirt, sophomore shirt. Nobody wears them, and seeing them everybody wear one shirt all together was generally wow, this is really happening. We're building we're giving other students opportunities to be involved, because we don't want it to be the student council all the time. What's the point of that, we have stuff like Lashmi was saying, we have our Elmer on the Beat, which gives an opportunity for anybody in school to be able to participate in our assembly. Or we contact students who aren't a part of the student council, and we're hey, come join us and play this game during the assembly. We also have I lost my train of track. We also have I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been doing a lot of progress and stuff, and Miller's honestly doing a really good job incorporating this in these things. He's keeping the students. Oh, the fight song. I was gonna say that the fight song. I didn't even know we had a fight song. I've been here for a long time, and I didn't know our fight song till this year. And noticing the assembly and the shift, first it was just seniors participating in the fight song, and all of a sudden you can see freshmen participating in the fight song, and then everybody's also And you can see it in like sports events and such. People know the lyrics to this song now, and it's honestly you can see the change in everything. And it's I was gonna say something besides on the Beat that we're working on. Oh, Spirit Squad. So this gives a chance for other students outside of the student council to be a part of a committee and go out to games and cheer and like just have that like school spirit, and like they would travel with our sports teams and also show that support, because honestly like the culture around like our sports team and like the support we give out is pretty weak right now, but you can definitely see like slowly but surely there's being a shift. Also within the student council room itself, you can see like the diversity like change. Like it's honestly like really amazing to see that. Like when I first started student council, like why am I getting emotional? When I first started student council, I kind of felt like out of place. And then now you can see like different students involved in something that like, I don't know, like you see different faces in different groups, and those people also like involve their friends, and then you can see the community like grow bigger. And honestly like that makes me really, really happy that our school culture like is not going to change from like today, tomorrow we're going to be like, ooh, Centennial. But like you can definitely see the slow change, and like honestly it's like one step to what we want to be, where we want to be. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know you had a fight song, and I went to one of the volleyball games, and it ended up with like all the kids like on the floor singing the fight song. It was amazing. Like I got chills. You guys are doing some great work.
Thank you.
And if you come to one of the assemblies, it's incredible when you hear all 1,600 students just singing the fight song. So those would be all examples of how we're empowering. Thank you, Marisol,
Yes.
for empowering student government and leadership. Another example of this is the Student Advisory Committee. So we have an advisory committee of students. There's about 60 signed up. Usually about 20 show up on any different committee. And in all of this, we're involving students. Anything that we can do, everything from hiring to making choices, we're involving student voice at every level, because this is their experience. And how do we empower them to take control of their experience? Because we need to hear from them. And so that's actually when I'm turning it over. So looking at that student choice, give you an example. So performing arts this year, we had more students sign up for performing arts, band, and choir than what we had. And it created a good dilemma for us. How do we continue to grow band and choir? So I'm going to have them come up and speak a little bit more for a minute and how their voice is being heard in that process. Culinary is another example. We had more students sign up for culinary wanting to be there. We only had one lab. What do? But the student voice said, you offer us culinary, we want this. I'm going to have them come up and talk. Student store is another perfect example. Student store was dying. There wasn't very much in our student store. But this year, a change about empowering. How do we get the interest of this into that student store so it really becomes a real business? And so we're going to have them present, again, about 2 minutes, just keeping with time. And the final thing you'd see this is trades and career. Number one thing our students said is, hey, we hear a lot about college. I always want college as an option, but what about the trades? What about a career? I want to be an electrician. And so you're going to hear, we're going to have them come up and actually present, because we've expanded our field trips, we've expanded our internships, and it's just amazing experiences. So performing arts, culinary, student store, and career and trades. Go ahead and come up here. So let's start with performing arts.
And if you'll check the mic and make sure it's green when you present.
Yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving us this platform to be able to talk. It's nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces. My name is Bree Tylacker. I'm the band teacher at the high school. And last year, I did both band and choir. As you know, our programs have all expanded. We, this year for band, our numbers are back to where we started pre-COVID. So that's super exciting. With last year losing only one senior, we have the chance to grow a ton this year. We also added a guitar class by demand of students. We had 96 kids originally sign up for the class, opening up 4 sections. And we have about 30 kids in each class with 4 sections now, so that's about 140, wait, math, yes. Yes, 140 students. So it's super exciting to see where we're going and how many students we're serving, hopefully opening up more opportunities. Choir is continuing to grow. We now have a permanent choir teacher at the high school, which relieves me from doing that, and that's super awesome. Kids are getting the full experience of a person who actually teaches choir, and they are starting to grow as well. With the addition of having full choir and full band down at the middle school, our numbers are just going to keep going up, and that's super exciting. I have our band president, and he will go ahead and introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Noah Venable. I'm a senior at Centennial High School, and I'm the band president. Yay! Band has been very impactful. It's given me opportunities to learn and grow and expand, not just myself, but also my friends and my peers who all enjoy creating music together. And it's really cool to get to see them grow, as well as to expand my own skills, all while having fun. The band room is a really safe place to just kind of be yourself and express yourself through music. I've really enjoyed my time here, and I'm enjoying helping shape it for the future.
Where we're going in the next few years, just to give you all a heads up, by 2025, 2026, we want to be able to compete down at Disneyland for their festival. It's not their festival, it's their winter parade. So we're hoping to grab Cheer and High Seas to go with us. So something to look forward to. No, I'm sorry, you won't be able to go, but that's hopefully where we're moving to. So thank you so much. Oh, awesome. So thank you so much for your time.
Next, I've asked Culinary to come and present for a minute.
Come on up, Jonathan. Hi, my name is Brent Patterson. I'm one of the culinary arts teachers. We have two now. We've doubled the program due to student demand. One of the goals that we were wanting to try and to get into is to offer an elective to students that they can kind of take with them and retain the information that they've learned and use it in their homes and real world setting. And that's kind of what we've tried to kind of design some of the curriculum around. We only have one kitchen, but thanks to administration and some moving and some gymnastics that have gone on, we're opening up a new kitchen starting on December 1st, so for the second trimester. We're super excited about that, but we got to outfit it and we got to get everything ready, but super exciting. I have Saw and Jonathan here, a couple of the students in Exploring Culinary Arts. I would like them to go ahead and talk to you guys and say what they want.
Hello, I'm Jonathan John Wood,
Hello, I'm Saw too.
and we are here to proudly represent the Culinary Arts classroom.
So, from all the information and knowledge I've gotten from it, I feel like I can really bring it into the future to grow. It's a life experience, and although I've made some mistakes, I've learned from them. Yeah, and I feel like with more resources, I feel like we can further develop these skills.
Hello, I would like to expand on what Saw is saying. I feel like more funding going to the Culinary Arts Group would expand our palette of what we can make. Not saying we could make steaks made of Wagyu steak and stuff like that, right? But making more dishes to different cultures, right? And I feel if we had the funding to do those things and retain those memories of those, right? Brunoise and small dices, medium dices, juliennes, and bâtonnets, cuttings and stuff things like those, right? We could make dishes like going into college. We wouldn't have to go out to eat or like buy fast food and eat all this like greasy and like unhealthy food. We could make our own food, retain that knowledge into maybe like marriage. I don't know if we could like, I don't know, but I mean, I feel like those skills would be really useful to us in the future. And if we had more funding, me and Sa could probably become much better cooks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tasted some of you guys' fresh pasta that you made, and it was terrific. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, these guys are great. I really thank them for coming up and saying such kind words about the program that we're trying to get started and going. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to get it started, and we look forward to building something really special. Thank you.
Okay, let's have our student store come up.
I have to sit by the mic. This is Ardent. He's here as our moral support. That's his job in the student store. My name is Diane. I am the new marketing and student store teacher. I am also gratefully new to Centennial, and it has been amazing. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bella Moles. I'm a senior at Centennial High School, and I help run the student store.
This is Julie. She is one of my marketing students and up and coming to the student store. And that's our moral support. That's Ardent. Our biggest goal was to make it student-centered. We wanted kids to come in. We wanted it to be equitable, meaning we have very much lowered prices to make the minimal amount of profit that we could. But moving forward, we do have some goals and things that we would like to do.
Yeah, we really would love support on getting card readers. That is definitely an issue in the store. I have so many students asking, do you guys take card? Do you guys take Apple Pay? And currently we don't. Also, I think with the card readers, it would be beneficial because as of recent, we've had counterfeit bills. That's becoming an issue. We've been having to start checking all of our bills, so definitely think it would help with that.
Part of the, right now being only cash only, we sat down as a student store and some of the goals moving forward, we would like to fund a couple small scholarships to graduating seniors. We would like to offer field trip funds because I know they just want to get out. They want to do some field trips post-COVID. We are also interested in doing some cross-curricular things such as with medals and the teen program and helping support them in their needs. Do you want to talk yet? No? Okay. So a couple, we'd like to get in more students. We'd like to have more student voice. We'd like to, in the student gear, I proudly wore this one. My marketing students helped me, and Marin approved the Pink Eagle for Breast Cancer Month. So we would like to be able to offer gear. As you know, right now it's expensive. So we'd like to have more funding so we could make it more accessible for kids to be able to buy it. Because even $20, as you know, is a lot to try to get kids to do it. What else are we trying to do? We have, the students are creating our drink menu for us. So we currently have the Slimer. And we too have been trying to be equitable. So we did Dias de los Muertos. We had a whole menu. One of the drinks is the Sugar Skull, and we can't keep that one in. We offered then marigolds and whatnot through the store. So looking forward, our Ukrainian and Russian students have asked us to try to add that in. We're looking at trying to support more cultures like Ramadan when that's coming up. But we definitely would love to have card or Apple Pay or something like that so we could reach more people, because cash is just not much of a thing anymore. Yeah.
Is there anything else to add? I don't know.
Just the students are rad at Centennial.
Yeah.
They are rad.
It's definitely improved since last year. More busy, there's a lot more products in the store. It's also more affordable. I know last year the markup was insane. So I definitely think we've done a better job at making it more affordable for students this year.
And the kids are smiling. It's fun at lunchtime to watch them listen to our music and watch us be weirdos. Is that just my job? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to next introduce trades and have them come up, and then I'm going to switch us a little bit. So trades.
Oh, I'm in the camera too. Oh no.
Let me go first. Well, hello, I'm Paris Green. I actually been here one time before in elementary school. I got a couple of titles. I just want to shout myself out real quick. I'm a part of NHS. I'm the treasurer. I'm also part of BSU, the Garden Club, Student Council, REAP, and some other stuff, the Principal Advisory Council. But yeah, we're here to talk about the trades. They're going to introduce themselves to you.
Yeah, I'm Harmony. I'm also in similar things as Paris, student council, I'm the BSU treasurer, REAP, and principals advisory committee, and yeah.
My name is Bethany Espinosa. I'm a senior. I'm the YTP intern. My biggest project I've been working on recently has been Little Eagle, Big Eagle.
All right, about the trades fair, we've been on 2 so far with Miss Chris, and they've been good so far. A lot of people have come. The buses have been full and crazy. The trades are nice. I've been on the first one we went to last year as well. It's about the same thing, the ABC competition thing. You get to watch people build, and there's the pumpkin race contest, carve your own pumpkin. And then a lot of the tables had a lot of interactive games you could do, and pamphlets and just information. Everyone likes to go get their free gear, like tote bags and umbrellas, random stuff they have. And they keep a good conversation because they want to make you interested in their trade. So they'll talk to you for a while, share their rates, and you'll make $50 an hour. And we're like, oh my God. But then they don't realize how much work they have to do. But I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So to add on to what Paris just said about the trades, so there's this black girl. She looked similar to my age, and I saw her behind one of the tables, and I was like, And so we went up to her and talked to her, and she started telling us all this information about trades in construction. I had never in a million years thought anything to my go into construction. And yeah, I think that just shows representation matters, seeing a girl that looked like me doing something, and then showing me that, dang, I could look and do that too. She look cool, we cool, yeah. Everything's enjoyable, yeah.
So I'm going to talk about Little Eagle, Big Eagle. It's a mentorship program, Little Eagles and Big Eagles. It was invented last year, and we've been continuing it on this year, and we hope that it continues throughout the years. We've been focusing with the Meadows Elementary. We go on weekly visits on Tuesdays. We have recess with them, and we have their lunchtime with them. We pull them out of class a little bit earlier, and it's really fun to see all the Big Eagles and interacting with the little kids and seeing how our relationships are growing with the little kids, and it's just been really fun recently. We are going to have a trip down. We've been trying to, next week we are going to begin training for the Powview Elementary, so we're going to start a new group. That's going to be really fun since some of the kids went down there too. So it's kind of cool seeing how some of our Big Eagles are working with students that are going to the same school they were when they were little kids. So I'm just really glad that I'm a part of this, and I really like this. Oh, and I had a quick question. So I was talking to Mr. Austin from the Powell View, and he had a quick question, and I was wondering if seniors from our school could have a walk down through their elementary in our cap and gowns while we're all ready, and have all the little kids out looking when we're all walking throughout the hallways. And I think that it'd be really fun for the littles to like watch us.
Well, my uncle actually has his own food truck, and there's been this thing where food trucks are just like small businesses like that. They'll go to certain schools during their lunch periods, and they'll serve to the school. So like whoever gets to come out can go to the food truck and buy food from them instead of having to leave the campus and go out on the street to go get other food that could be further or just like dangerous to get to sometimes because there's not so many good drivers. So yeah, he was just, he had came to the school last year to ask about it, but really got nothing back to him about it. But he was trying to do it here because he does do it at other districts, kind of in the more the PPS side. But yeah, I was just asking about that because again, about the food like laws or whatever we have, that he wouldn't be able to do it here like he does at the other places. But
That I don't know.
Yes.
But I will say, if we can get your information, like, I'd love to have them come to my offices, you know, where I work too.
All right, thank you.
Let's give our trade. The truth is, so that's some of how we're empowering student voice. And you hear that, you know, they're asking questions. They're saying, why can't we do this? Help us understand. And that's what we want. It is in Portrait of a Graduate. We want people that are inquisitive. That's what we want to produce. That's what we want to put in our community. At the same time, we want students to have high academic standards and understanding. And I could talk to you a little bit about some of the shifts we're doing academically, and I could show you some of the results, and we're seeing good results. But I wanted to, again, turn it over to some students talking. One of the things that when we look at our data really deeply, we came to realize about 54% of our students are below grade level in reading, math, and science, and it varies on each of those subjects. So how do we continue to hold to those high standards? How do we continue to teach that? And yet you have this wide range in your class where you have students, especially like give you example in reading, that can't even, you know, that are struggling to read, but they're in a 12th, you know, 11th, 12th grade class. How do we empower a teacher to meet those needs to really empower our students? And you can. So I wanted to invite people to talk and come up and talk a little bit about our academics, some of the stuff we're doing for our Tier 1 and Tier 2. I'm really empowering students. As I said, we're looking at our course, reading, math, and science, but they're going to show you an example that's making a difference in math, in reading.
Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Lifson. I am an English language arts teacher.
Jessica Young, reading specialist.
Is it on? My name is Albertina Delivery. I'm a freshman at Centennial High School.
So last year in my 10th grade language arts class, I discovered that I had a student who did not know how to read. And as a general education teacher at the secondary level, nobody has ever taught me how to teach the basics of reading. And when I went around into my building and tried to get support for this teacher, nobody could help him because nobody knew how to teach reading. Luckily, Marin was able to call Jess from the elementary school, who volunteered her time to tutor the student one-on-one. And what we've realized is that the student is not a one-off. We have hundreds of students in our building who are not reading fluently. And for these students, it's read or else. It's read or else, higher risk of incarceration, higher risk of becoming a teen parent, etc. The cascading negative impacts of not knowing how to read can follow these students from their lifetime. And so this year, what we've done is created a system to take what Jess was doing one-on-one with students and scale it so that we can serve as many students as we can. And she's going to tell you how we do that.
Yes, so we started with freshmen, just to kind of, I'm a half-time employee, so we were kind of starting small, and training up teachers. So we've got our PE teachers, health teachers, any topic, who we have trained in what the science of reading is, how students learn to read. Quite frankly, Beth is saying that as secondary folks, they don't know how to teach reading, and I have a reading endorsement, but I got it 20-some years ago, and we weren't taught correctly how to teach reading, and I think probably most of you are aware of that. So we're all in this process of learning together and training up teachers. So at this point, we've got about 25 teachers at the high school who have been trained in teaching reading, so they're capable of running small reading groups, which we're doing for freshmen. Now we've layered on, we're getting ready to layer in sophomores this following year, trimester rather. And so that is kind of the work that we have been doing. Students are there, we do not have a block for them to, we don't have like an intervention block in our schedule, but we pull them from classes, which has been a bit of a dance to schedule and that kind of thing. But we've assessed many students, found their very specific need, and then we give them the skill work that they need, and then they can apply that into their core work and kind of accelerate them so that they're able to fully access what they need. And so far, I was just playing with star data today. We had student tonight while I was waiting for this meeting, and our students took star tests today, and every single student who is in a small group has shown growth. So that's super exciting. So we're proud of that. And a student who we're particularly proud of is Albertina, who is here. So Albertina, can you talk about kind of how reading group goes, or how you feel like it's perhaps helped you?
I feel like reading group has really helped me progress in my reading, because at a very young age, I've always had trouble reading, not just reading, like knowing how to spell and like reading certain things that are like I'm supposed to know how to read. And with time, like I just felt like reading is something like I never understood. And I recently came to Centennial High School, and I just started this reading group, and I feel like the way that Miss Young teaches the reading, like I've never been taught this way. So it's like all the things that I didn't know and I thought were so much harder, or like something like it just clicks. And it's like the way they set it out to sound it out, the vowels, the A-E-I-O-U's, and it's like it all makes sense. And it's like they're patient with the students, and they know how to like take step by step and like start at smaller units, even if you know what a vowel is, but they start there and see where you are to like see where they need to take you. And I feel like when I took the STAR test, like the STAR reading test before I met Miss Young, and I had a really low score, and then when I took it today, I was like, I felt like I did way better than I did the last time that I did it, because like I just knew what I was doing, and I felt like I can read and answer the questions the proper way.
And since everyone else hasn't asked, we have an ask too, which is that I have one period a day that I get to work on this, and Jess is a half-time employee who's been working 8-hour days since the beginning of September. This is a life-changing thing. If we can teach students how to read, it will literally change their lives. And we need more money to be able to pay Jessica for the work that she's been doing, because this is literally life-changing stuff. So thank you.
And I think the systems we're building, we can apply and need to apply to math and science and all of that. So I think the structure can definitely be scaled up as well. So.
Let's give them a round. And I'm going to ask Vivian to come up next. We're talking, so the last thing I want to talk to you about is our last goal, is about social, emotional, and safety. And one thing that we've been trying this year is, again, through student voice, how do you empower students? I could talk about the changes. Hey, students said our school is dirty. You know, we've changed the way custodians work. Hey, we want a brighter school. We've repainted the entire school. One of the things that we're doing specifically is more culturally relevant groups, and that are responsive. We're running a Pacific Islander group, and we're also running different groups. And so you want to talk a little bit about BSA. Yes.
Hello. Hello, my name is Vivian Dang. I am a senior at Centennial High School. I am also the president of the Black Student Union. I've been given the opportunity to join district and staff level committees since my sophomore year. I also even led a equity committee in my sophomore year. And since then, I've joined the strategic planning, core planning committee last year, and I was also part of the principal advisory committee. I still am actually, and I'm part of the staff advisory committee as well, and amongst other things as well. And this experience has taught me that in the beginning, the school really lacked the voices of marginalized students. And since joining these positions, I've actively advocated for marginalized students to be heard and other students as well. And I feel like I have been successfully able to bring in the voices of students. For example, I remember my sophomore year advocating for a Grow Your Own program where essentially students of color have the opportunity to become educators in their community. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. And during the summer, I learned that this has actually come into fruition, and I was able to join a group where I met educators who looked like me and looked like the students that I grew up with, and they taught me what education is like and how to educate students and how to facilitate classrooms. And they even had the opportunity to have internships at the elementary levels, high school levels, and middle school levels. And I sadly wasn't able to join the internship, but I took the classes instead, and it was very life-changing. It has directly taught me how to facilitate people and how to interact with people. And with the Black Student Union, we are involved from the student level to the district level. Like, as you can see, many of the members here, they are also part of the Black Student Union. And on the district level, we are part of the Principal Advisory Committee. We are also part of multiple staff committees as well. And one thing that I've learned is that our voices is extremely important. And in the past, we were not heard. And it is so important to have voices like us. And one of my things that I've realized, and one of our biggest struggles, is that our community partners do not have district emails, Centennial district emails. And we cannot share things with our community partners without having our personal emails being used or our staff members being used. And that is very difficult if we do not have the time to talk to our advisors or to just work with TRIO, for example, which is a program for low-income first-generation students. I've worked with my advisor since my 8th grade year, and I have to use my personal email to communicate with her, especially if I'm sharing documents, and that is very frustrating, and that creates another systemic barrier, which is extremely disappointing because I understand why it is to prevent security risks, but when it comes to our community partners such as TRIO and SUN, they are not going to be hacking our systems. They are here to support us, and by creating another barrier, by making them use their own emails, it is simply creating another barrier, and it's so important for us to break down that barrier to make sure that we have the opportunity to communicate with them properly. And then another aspect is that I would love to see more district support when it comes to our school events. For the Black History Month Assembly, for example, we are responsible for that, and I typically only see our school admins present. I would love to see more of our board members there, but yes, thank you.
Invitation accepted.
I know I've hijacked this meeting, but I wanted you to hear from the students. Each of them is incredible. We have 1,600 incredible students that make a difference every day. And I just want to share one last thing with you. So again, around our last goal, around safety and feeling emotional belonging. By the way, and this is up there, Marisol's actually talking at a convention here on Friday, and we'll be actually talking about student voice and empowering students. And so, I mean, that's a perfect example where we're going to go down and present. But with all the other changes that we've made, one of our goals this year was to help our students feel both emotionally and physically safe. Last year when we did our equity survey, 34% of our students felt safe, physically safe at school. Our goal was to increase that by 15%, get it up to 39%. This year, in the last survey we did, it's 73.4%, and that is incredible growth, and then these are all examples of this. Likewise, I feel emotionally safe at school. Last year was 33.6%. Our goal is to increase that to 38%, and again, 74.6%. Those are the changes by empowering our students to make the changes, and that's why they all have different asks for you, or different asks for me, because we want to empower them to make the changes, to make this, their experience really work for them, and that's what we're about. And that's why I tell them every day is we are all here to serve them. So thank you for listening to us.
Thank you so much. I'm going to try to say something without becoming overly emotional, because this was really the best board meeting I've been a part of yet. I just want to thank each one of you. There are things that each of you have said throughout the evening that I've made little notes of that speak to the work that you're doing. The band room is a really safe place. I make mistakes, but I can learn from them, right? Amazing things are happening in the high school, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm really proud of all of you. I think that watching these youth become leaders and seeing the growth of confidence in them to be able to just come in, like, I get nervous, to be honest. Like, I get nervous sitting up here making sure that I'm going to say the right thing. I can only imagine what it's like as a youth. I was not prepared for that in my own youth, and this is amazing to witness. And I just got to give a shout out, because youth mentoring is my life, and so Little Eagle, Big Eagle, great work. Thank you all. Thank you. So proud of you. Yeah, can we take a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back to finish the rest of the reports. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Giving my thumbs up signs.
Recording in progress.
Welcome back, everyone. Am I waiting for it to say recording in progress? No. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. That was fabulous. And now we are excited to bring Director of Curriculum and Student Learning, Maureen Callahan, up to follow that with a comprehensive sexuality education plan report. Good luck.
Tough gig to follow, but I'll do my best. Good evening, Board of Directors, and those of you in the audience. This is a report of the state-required Comprehensive Sexuality Education Plan, also known as the CSEP. Each school district in Oregon, including the Centennial School District, is responsible for developing a comprehensive sexuality education plan as a part of the kindergarten through 12th grade health instructional program. The CSEP is approved by each district's local school board. The CSEP is also part of the Oregon Department of Education Division 22 standards. This plan is a curriculum-based process of teaching and learning about the emotional, physical, and social aspects of human sexuality and healthy relationships. Though the plan may reference services, which is certainly related, this plan is focused on the instructional aspect. This plan has been developed in accordance with state law. Since 2009, Oregon law has required that state districts teach comprehensive sexuality education. That is age-appropriate, evidence-based, medically accurate, culturally inclusive, and based in positive youth development. These three legislative acts coalesce to form the Oregon Department of Education's comprehensive education policy. There are additional state bills, statutes, additional rules, and policies also relevant that are listed in the plan. The essential elements of the plan articulate the basis for the plan, which includes the current K-12 health standards, provides our grade band instructional materials, our communication process, which includes guidelines for parents. We have provided current links for each of these, in each of these areas. This bulleted list is broad with the intent to be overarching. A more specific list of content can be found in the Human Sexuality Education Law, the Health Teen Relationship Act, and Aaron's Law. Specific grade level health standards are linked in our Comprehensive Sexuality Education Plan. They're on our district website under Curriculum and Student Learning and on the ODE website. These are, excuse me. These are the instructional materials at each grade band. The benefit of all of these materials is that the publisher provides yearly updates based on current medically accurate information. For grades 6 through 12, our health teachers benefit from guidance and support from Community and Adolescent Health under Multnomah County Health Department. Families play an important role in supporting and advocating for their children's health and development. Research shows that public support for sex education in the United States is overwhelming. Then nationally, as of 2017, 93.5% of parents feel it is important to have sex education taught in schools. The human sexuality legislation requires that district instruction must encourage positive family communication and involvement and help students learn to make responsible, respectful, and healthy decisions. The plan includes communication to parents prior to the lesson, an opportunity for parents to view the materials, and the opportunity for parents to select their child out of parts of the instruction. We currently have the family engagement letters translated in English, Spanish, Russian, Vietnamese, Arabic, Chinese, and Somali at secondary level. And at elementary, we are in the process of completing the translations in those same languages. Again, you can find the links to these in our plan as well as on our website. The Centennial School District Comprehensive Sexuality Education Plan is posted on our website under Health Education within our department. There's also a parent summary of the plan and a parent input form. The input form is another opportunity to ensure our parents are informed about sexuality education. In addition, we're asking them about their interest in attending a parent information meeting. We have started to do some focus groups, student focus groups with secondary health classes and clubs such as the GSA group to inform us in terms of adjustments that may need to be made. We need to ensure that human sexuality is consistently taught at elementary level and determine the professional learning needs as well. Next year is a health curriculum adoption, which will provide us the opportunity to further assess our instructional program and decide what materials are needed for the future. With that, at this time, I can take any questions.
Thank you very much, Director Callahan. Are there any questions from the board? Please.
Hi, Director Callahan. Thank
Good
you
evening.
for this presentation and these materials. Is there guidance or direction that's given to teachers and other staff if students approach them privately, perhaps on a confidential matter regarding sexual or reproductive health, that they then know how to deal with those things?
Yes, in general, teachers are encouraged to follow the same privacy that they ask the students to follow in terms of sharing information. So there's that piece. But they also are encouraged to inform students that they are, as adults, mandatory reporters should potentially harmful information be shared. And so with that, that's how they follow that. But they do not need to, typically, they don't share questions that students are asking with families. And then the strategy that they use to maintain the confidentiality is usually a secret box where students can put any questions that they have, and that goes in the box, and then they're addressed anonymously. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Other questions from the board?
Question. I had a question just done the parent input form. There's a parent input. Is that on the district website? Is that where do?
Yeah, that's on the district website. Right underneath there's the plan itself, and then we put a summary of the plan, which is like 2 pages to the essence of, and then input that basically asks questions about, do you understand that you have the right to, view the materials, ask any questions you have, and then the last question is to see if they're interested in further conversation about it.
Okay.
And so based on the need, we'll create opportunities and space for that.
Great. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for putting this together and bringing us into compliance. And I know it was a kind of a surprise on your lap. So I really appreciate you going out of your way to do that.
My pleasure. It is so important. So thank you.
Anyone else have questions? The one question I have is you talk about positive family communication regarding this, and who's having those conversations with the families, the very first interaction that they have?
Yeah, it's really the health teachers. They're the ones closest to the student in terms of knowing them.
And in elementary school, when there's not a health teacher, how's that happening?
It's really, that's work that we need to do.
Yeah.
But again, I always land on the adult who has the relationship with the students. And I also know that our school counselors help with that as well, especially at elementary.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I think that it's really important to ensure that the people that are having those conversations feel confident in having those conversations and feel confident in the material that we're presenting. And we're just going to leave it there. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Next up, we have our superintendent's report.
All right. Thank you, Chair Slavsky. All right, and you will see in this room, we only have this screen available this evening. I should have pointed that out earlier because we have some technical difficulties with the overhead projectors. So please draw your attention to the television screen that we have. So greetings, board members. It's my pleasure and privilege to share with you this update about our happenings in the district. It'll be hard to beat the presentations we've already had. November is American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month. This month provides an opportunity to celebrate the rich and diverse cultures, traditions, and histories, and to acknowledge the important contributions of Native people. On this screen, you will see the recently developed Centennial District Monthly Celebrations and Heritage Month website. I've shared this before, but it's a good continual reminder. It's a compendium of resources for our educators to be able to access throughout the school year. And special thanks to our district social workers for their work on developing this website, in addition to collaboration with Student Services Director Denise Wright. Another recognition this week, November 6th through the 10th, is National School Psychology Week throughout the United States. It provides an opportunity to highlight the important work that school psychologists and other educators do to help students thrive. The theme for 2023 is Let's Grow Together, and it's inspired by the importance of both personal and shared strengths in our growth as individuals and school communities in every season of life. So please join me in recognizing our District 7 school psychologists. We have Dan Bellum, who is the school psychologist for Park Lane and Butler Creek. Ben Goodling, who works at Powell Butte and also supports Park Lane and Butler Creek. Ingrid Surrett, who is at Pleasant Valley and Oliver Middle School. Tony Erberding, who is at Patrick Lynch and Meadows. Megan Connolly, who is at Centennial Middle School and Centennial Transition Center. Andreas Acevez, who is at Centennial High School, and Patrick O'Brien, who is at Centennial Virtual Academy. So I know that Director Denise Wright also shares her recognition of the school psychologists. This Saturday, November 11th, is Veterans Day to honor all military veterans in the United States Armed Forces. Centennial School District will observe Veterans Day on Friday, November 10th, which is a no-school day for students. I want to take this opportunity to thank our veterans for their service, in particular those around our Centennial community. Speaking of Veterans Day, the Oregon School Boards Association, or OSBA, 77th Annual Convention is coming up this Friday, November 10th through Sunday, November 12th. As opposed to last year when I represented Centennial in a couple of breakout sessions at the conference reflecting some of the work we've been involved in the last few years, I will be sitting this one out. Centennial will still be represented, however, in 2 breakout sessions. You heard about one of those in the previous report. Oliver Middle School Principal Jeb Hubbs and Bond Oversight Committee member and Butler Creek Secretary Brandy Hutchinson will be presenting alongside RNC Management Scott Rose for a workshop entitled Imprinting Your Community Onto Your Building Projects, which will be focused on community engagement pertaining to construction projects and how that gets folded in. Also, as you heard, Centennial High School Principal Marin Miller will present along with Centennial High School students and Scott Rose for a workshop entitled Safety Starts with Student Voice, which will focus on meaningfully engaging youth in decision-making on school safety improvements. I believe that Director Curry and Lynn are scheduled to attend the conference, and I look forward to hearing about how the conference goes. As you know, Centennial has heavily invested over the last couple of years in student social, emotional, and academic development. As such, at the elementary and middle school level, today and tomorrow, staff are in development days scheduled for trainings of day 3 and day 4 of responsive classroom training. And the responsive classroom sessions are coordinated by the Director of Student Services, Denise Wright, and led by trainers from the responsive classroom organization. They utilize a collaborative learning approach for our staff. As a reminder, Responsive Classroom is a student-centered social and emotional learning approach to teaching and discipline. It's a set of research and evidence-based practices to create safe, joyful, and engaging classroom and school communities for both students and staff. The Responsive Classroom approach focuses on creating optimal learning conditions for students to develop the academic, social, and emotional skills needed for success both in and out of school, and building positive school and classroom communities where students learn, behave, hope, set, and achieve goals. For days 3 and 4 of the training, the staff are focused on deepening their understanding around previously taught concepts with the morning meeting and or advisory at the middle school level, the natural learning cycle and engaged learning, class meetings specifically for collectively addressing a specific situation that might impact everyone, such as slower transitions from activity to activity, individual student problem solving, handling misbehavior, and connecting with families. So there's a particular focus for what days 3 and 4 will involve. All right. I'm pleased to announce that Centennial was recently awarded a $10,000 Wellness Sustainability Grant from the Oregon Education Association, or OEA Choice Trust. For context, our current wellness program called Working on Wellness, or WOW, because there always needs to be an acronym, and that's a good one, is supported at all levels in our district. Each department and school has a wellness committee representative, and these representatives meet monthly, and in turn, they bring updated wellness information to staff across the district. There are representatives from the district office, maintenance, custodial, dining services, transportation, as well as a representative from each school building. Committee representatives encourage wellness within each department or school and provide exciting programming along with wellness incentives. The program is facilitated by our district wellness coordinator, Pia Watzig, who you met last month during the school lunch tasting. So she has kind of a dual role. This grant will be used to provide wellness supplies to support the caring cart, which I know that Director Harden participated in recently, or other wellness items like healthy snacks and etc., which are shared with staff monthly, staff room updates, and incentives for participating in the wellness program activities. A special thank you to Adrian Harden, Chris Dowell, who's here this evening in person, Amanda Kassab, and Rowena Poirier, and Pia Watzig for their efforts in developing this successful grant application. And that's not all. I'm pleased to share that Centennial has been approved by Multnomah County to be part of the qualified pool for preschool for all pilot sites. Pilot sites will receive funding for startup costs and support the purchase of materials from Multnomah County. An allocation committee will determine how many slots Centennial will receive for the 24-25 preschool year. We have requested 30 slots, and while we're not guaranteed the slots that we've requested, we are hopeful given the need for no-cost preschool in our community. Our hope is to operate 2 preschool classrooms with 15 students in each of those classes. And for context, in November of 2020, voters supported Preschool for All to connect 3 and 4-year-olds in Multnomah County to free, culturally responsive, and inclusive preschool experiences. Finally, I would like to share a bond feature. Centennial School District strives to create safe, secure, and aesthetically pleasing facilities for our students, staff, and visitors. And most recently, Centennial Schools received updates to their exterior lighting across buildings and parking areas to ensure that these areas are well illuminated. The fixtures were funded as part of the voter-approved 2020 bond below-the-line projects. As you'll remember, we had the Facilities Update Committee that determined some additional projects that would be completed last year. In total, the district will mount 119 lights, including 40 building-mounted lights along sidewalks and around doorways, 39 pole lights in parking lots and entrances, and 40 lighted bollards at Centennial High School, which will be installed over winter break. As you know, reliable exterior lighting is an essential part of school safety for our facilities and provides students, staff, and guests with peace of mind during the evening hours. The variables that were considered with the selection and installation of the lighting included square footage, ground coverage, and locations. And with that, I invite any questions or comments you might have, and that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. At this point, are there any questions from the board? Please.
I had a question. Where will the preschool be housed?
I would tell you the answer, and I know where we're thinking, and I don't know if those school principals or staffs have been contacted yet, and so I don't want the first information to come in a public meeting.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Please.
This comment, thankful for the lighting. I think that when you're below the line, if you were committee was working and really considering what kinds of needs, something coming and going, it feels like. So really appreciative of that work being done, and thank you all, because I know you've been working. It was just tough, right?
How many school administrators does it? No, just kidding.
I would agree, though, is those Centennial High School bollards, the current ones that are there, were in just bad disrepair, and you could see the wiring coming out, and half of them weren't there. So, in addition to the safety elements, it'll just be aesthetically better, too. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Superintendent Owens.
Thank you.
Next up, I am excited to invite Christelle, our OSEA president, to give her report in person.
Well, thank you for your time tonight. I'm so excited they got to be here. I will say that a reoccurring part of my work in this district is to amplify voices. And so I'm thrilled that that these kiddos got to be here today. It is no secret that changes are underway at CSD, and our staff needs support to ensure that they have the necessary tools to assist our students effectively. Most jobs at Centennial have evolved significantly in the past 5 years, and not all of these changes have been seamless. I'm thankful for supervisors who have been responsive to their staff's call for support. For those that haven't, I'm hopeful that we will continue to work on these improving the situation. Our students deserve the best, and we're committed to achieving that. I think as we've highlighted, there's a lot of moving pieces right now, and we just need to make sure that the people that maybe are far away from these decision-making pieces are aware of all of them. That's all we're asking for. Thank you.
Excellent. And next up, let's see, do we see Ms. Kassab? There you are. Next up, I would like to invite Amanda Kassab, our CEA president, to give our CEA report. Welcome, Amanda. You're muted.
Just got that. Good evening, directors and administration. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the harm that was caused by my last board report on October 12th, 2023. Upon reflection, I have come to realize that part of my report had unintended impact that could have been avoided by conscious perspective taking on my part. I'm sorry for the harm that was caused by using personal names. My intention was to share what I am hearing from CEA membership and to provide specific details of situations educators are experiencing. What was meant to be advocating for members presented as taking personal jabs at administration. My goal is to collaborate and build a strong district with CSD administration. I always want member voices to be heard and members to feel empowered in their roles. I am learning my roles in leadership as I go. In order to uplift members' voices, CEA is beginning to organize committees to focus on specific issues that are arising. Committee chairs will be reaching out to CSD admin to begin the communication process. In order to move forward collaboratively, I look forward to members organizing and using their voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Appreciate you being here. Next up, we have got confirmation items. Can I get a motion to approve all of the confirmation items?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Excellent. Let us take another break. Let's give 7 minutes. 7-minute break before we proceed on to board action items. Thank you.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. Welcome back, everyone. Moving into board action items. There's currently no items under old business, so we're going to move right along to new business and talk about awarding the CMGC contract for Oliver Middle School seismic with Paul Southerton. Welcome.
Good evening, board members. Thanks for having me again. It wouldn't be a board meeting if we didn't have a construction item, so I'm happy to be here again with you this evening to, as Chair Solowski said, consider approving the award of the CMGC contract for the Oliver Seismic Improvement Project to Emmerich Construction. As you will recall, the district has been awarded a third seismic improvement grant, which is fantastic news. This grant is for just under $2.5 million to perform upgrades at Oliver Middle School, which will improve building safety in the case of a seismic event. Executing the work through the CMGC method was approved by the board and will be cost and time advantageous to the district. Public advertisements were issued. Emmerich Construction Company responded. They have completed several projects in the district, including the middle school updates and conversion of Oliver Middle School, the pool rebuild, the turf project, and other projects in the districts. As they've worked extensively with us in the district and performed at a high level throughout the course of the current bond, it was determined they were qualified to perform the work, and the district negotiated a total general conditions and CMGC fee of up to $379,843 for this specific scope. It's recommended that the Board of Directors approves the award of the Oliver Middle School Seismic Improvement CMGC contract to Emmerich Construction Company with a base general conditions and CMGC fee of up to $379,843. And with that, I welcome any questions you may have.
Any questions? Please. I got chopped cookie.
I move that we accept the proposal for the awarding the CMGC contract to Emmerich Construction.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. We are awarding the CMGC contract for Oliver Middle School seismic to Emmerich Construction. Next up, we've got the first read of our comprehensive sexuality education plan with an option to adopt.
Good evening again. I would like to request your approval of the comprehensive sexuality education plan earlier described earlier tonight.
Are there any questions? Excellent. Are there any questions or comments before we move to vote? All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. We have approved the comprehensive sexuality education plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did want to say, though, it was really good to have all of the information up front, so we could really look it over, read through, occasionally comment on a thing or two. Nothing significant, but just, it was good to be able to absorb it, and what I also appreciate is the links for it.
Good.
So I could go out and look, it's like, I don't really know what that means, so we're gonna link to it, and we'll see it, and then come back and go, oh, okay, that makes sense now, where, because we don't have the depth, obviously, we have living there. So the links we're working, and all of that information is wonderful.
Great.
In one place.
That's
Well
great
done.
feedback.
Thank you. Next up, we've got a first read of policy IGAI with the option to adopt.
And so, again, requesting for you to consider approval of policy IGAI, human sexuality, AIDS, HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, and health education. The policy recommendations for changes really are a couple key things. One, they have shifted instead of AIDS, HIV, they've moved it to HIV, AIDS. Excuse me. And then there's some minor changes that they made to really enhance healthy decisions and calls out illegal drugs, not just drugs. And then also adding that the resources and the instruction are also culturally inclusive. with that, then also at the end of the policy, the recommendation to provide information on menstrual health, which has been passed a while back with the Menstrual Dignity Act, and also that it is inclusive and affirming of transgender, non-binary, intersex, and two-spirit students. So those are the recommendations from the OSBA. And I support the recommendations that they're making.
Thank you.
Move to approve as presented.
Anyone have any thoughts or discussion before we could take it to a vote? Great. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The policy IGAI has been approved. Next up, we've got the first read with the option to adopt of JHCA, JHCB. Welcome, Denise Wright.
Good evening, Board. I am here to present the first read, and as you can see, while this policy is optional, we have had it as an adopted policy for years and years and years. There are minor changes coming to this policy, and really it's to better align with existing rules and best practices when it comes to enrolling students. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Are there any questions at this time?
Move to approve as presented.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it.
Thank you
We
very
have
much.
approved policy JHCA, JHCB. Excellent. The board will now convene into executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602B to consider the dismissal of or disciplining of or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, or staff member or individual agent who does not request an open hearing. No decision will be made in the executive session. Members of news media are directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we will not be returning to open session and will not take any action until a further meeting. And you'll get more about that in a minute. That was, we will not be coming back for adjournment. So yeah, thank you.
Recording stopped.
So regular meeting adjourned. We're adjourning the regular meeting, and then we're going to go into the executive meeting.
All right.
We're going to come back to future agenda items. Is that something you want to say?
Yes. We're back in.
Thank you. I just really want to bring this to everyone's
Hold on just one
attention
second.
when I can. We're
We're-
not live, okay.
We want to be live.
Sure, of course we do. Absolutely. Naturally.
Totally kidding. JK about the adjournment. Future agenda items. Who's got some future agenda items for us? Please,
I
Director
do.
Stanley.
Over the weekend, I had the opportunity to meet Michael Allen Harrison. He attended my show that I was in, and we got to talking, and he has missed doing the benefit concerts for Centennial and would like to restart those. So I will work with the Arts Council to figure out how to bring Michael Allen Harrison back to Centennial to do a benefit concert for our arts programs. So he's pretty excited, and I get to sing with him.
Really?
So it's going to be lovely. So just thought I would mention it. It is a work in progress, but he was very, very, very excited to reinstate it. So.
Is that something that the Arts Foundation would want to be involved with?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
too.
that's.
Is that, when you say the Arts Council, is that?
Yes.
That's the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll cross-coordinate, but years, he did it for years. And then shifts and things happened and communication was kind of lost and it fell by the wayside. But he'd love to bring that back. So
I'm
Fantastic.
gonna work on that.
That's fun.
We have a few things for next meeting in December. Oliver Middle School building report, if you like the CHS one. Hopefully you'll like the OMS one that we'll have. We have the Early Literacy Success Grant, which is due in early January, and I believe that there will be some board involvement prior to that. We'll have an introduction of the Centennial Middle School Assistant Principal, Rosemary Tyson. And then I was going to say we'll have second read of policies, but y'all approved them, so we won't be doing that.
More time for the school.
The expulsion one is still pending.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's not ready yet. That's what I've got.
Excellent. Are there any other future agenda items? Nope. Going once. Adjourned. Regular meeting is adjourned. We'll now be moving into executive session. Should I read this again?